Hello and welcome back to another Toon World video. In today's video we'll be talking about one of Boboiboy's 7 elements, which is the wind element, the power that allows him to manipulate air. So we'll be talking about the different levels of Boboiboy's wind element, level 1, 2 and 3, starting with level 1, which is Boboiboy Wind, also known as Boboiboy Angin. So first we'll be talking about his appearance, his clothes. In the original Boboiboy series, he wears yellow. However, in the sequel, in Boboiboy Galaxy, when he is older, Boboiboy Wind wears blue clothes and his cap is worn sideways towards the right side. Next we'll be talking about his personality. Because of the nature of the wind element, Boboiboy Wind seems to be cheerful and happy all the time. You can see him smiling all the time and carefree. Next we'll be talking about the many different skills or abilities that Boboiboy Wind has. So first we'll be drawing the icons that represent the abilities, and then we'll be talking about them. We'll be explaining about each of these abilities one by one. Okay, just a little bit more. We'll be talking about 6 different abilities of Boboiboy Angin. Okay, moving on to the last one. Alright. So the first ability we'll be talking about is wind attack. This is quite obvious. This is an attack that he has. So about his wind attacks, its power can range from low to high. He can make his wind attacks very low, very gentle, like a gentle breeze that we are showing here. He's just blowing slowly towards Adudu, and then he can also create a really powerful wind, like a storm vortex that can knock out even the most heavy enemies far away. So it all depends on the amount of control that Boboiboy exhibits. So ability number 2 is tornado winds. So the tornadoes that he creates can be used for both defense and for offense, for attacking. In defense, he can create a wind that protects himself from any physical attacks from the outside. And then for attacking, obviously he just attacks using a tornado towards the enemy. He just makes the wind move in a spiral direction. So moving on. Next we have what seems like a regular punch, but combined with the wind element. So we have what we call the Typhoon punch. So we can consider this more powerful than a regular punch. And then we have GUST sprint, which is actually used for transportation. So what Boboiboy does is that he creates a wind, a spiral wind around him, so he can fly and move fast. Next we have wind sphere, where Boboiboy creates a ball out of air that can be thrown towards the enemy, so it's a long range attack. So for the next one, this ability is combined with an ability given by another power sphere, which is Motorbot. So Motorbot can give Boboiboy a motorcycle. So this motorcycle can be combined with the wind element, creating a wind motorbike. So the motorcycle can perform wind-based maneuvers, as we show here. So it can surf through the air, what we call windsurf here, and it can also spin around, creating a tornado. So here we have the Cyclone spin. So there we have it, all the different abilities of Boboiboy Wind or Angin. As a bonus, we'd like to show you some alternate clothings, some other costumes or attire that Boboiboy Wind wears on special occasions. So here is him wearing a football jersey, and this is him during the Eid or Raya celebrations. This is during the original Boboiboy series and then in Boboiboy Galaxy. So this is how it looks like. It was previously yellow and then it turned blue. Moving on, so next we'll be talking about the second level, level 2 of Boboiboy's wind elemental powers, which is Boboiboy Cyclone. First, a little background about how Boboiboy Cyclone came to be. In the original series, Boboiboy Wind ate Yaya's terrible biscuits that contained chemical X. So Boboiboy Wind became crazy because of that and then changed into Boboiboy Cyclone. It's quite a funny story actually. Now we'll be talking about his appearance, how he looks like. So you can see that his color scheme has changed. He is mainly dark blue with some white and yellow. And there's a wind pattern on his cap, which is still worn sideways towards the right. And when you see his eyes, his iris is blue colored. That's how he looked like in the original Boboiboy series. And in Boboiboy Galaxy, this is how he looks like. Pretty much the same, only he's grown taller. And he's always hyperactive and happy as usual. Moving on, we'll talk about his abilities. So his abilities, his powers are the same as Boboiboy Wind, except that his wind and tornado powers are much stronger. And he also has some extra abilities that we'd like to mention. So as usual, we'll be drawing the icons here first, and then we'll be explaining them one by one. Okay, just a little bit more. And one more to go. Alright. First we'll talk about the obvious one, which is the hoverboard that he has. It's a special item. It's a vehicle that he can ride that allows him to fly higher and much faster. And the next ability is Cyclone drills. So what he does is that he creates a drill made of wind around both of his hands, both his fists. So it makes his punches much more powerful than the wind punch that we mentioned earlier. Next we have a long range attack, which is wind discs. So these are boomerangs made out of wind that Boboiboy can throw towards the enemy. So this is another long distance attack, sharp boomerangs made from air. And then we've got the Cyclone ball, which is a spinning ball of wind, just like the wind ball that we mentioned earlier. And this one can be used in close proximity as a close range attack, and it can be also used as a long distance attack. It can be thrown far towards the enemy. And for the last one, we have Cyclone suction. So Boboiboy creates a spinning vortex of wind and he creates a vacuum inside it, so it can be used to suck enemies towards it. So Boboiboy Cyclone used this on Borara. Borara was pulled, he was sucked inside it. And before we forget, we have to mention that Boboiboy Cyclone can create combo moves with Boboiboy QUAKE. So far we've seen two of these combination moves. So for example, Boboiboy QUAKE can create sand and Cyclone can create a storm. So what we get is a sandstorm, obviously. Here we see the sandstorm attack being used. Next we have the combination of Boboiboy QUAKE's Earth Golem combined with Boboiboy Cyclone's spinning his Cyclone drill. So what we get is a larger Cyclone drill attached to the Earth Golem, what we call Mega Cyclone Drill. So we are done with that. Next we'd like to talk about level 3 of the wind element. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Boboiboy reach level 3 yet. We've only seen level 3 being used by Rataka, so we hope that Boboiboy will achieve level 3 soon. So moving on to part 2 of our video, we'll be talking about the clones of Boboiboy's wind element. So first we'll be talking about Boboibot. So a little background about Boboibot. Boboibot is a robot that was created by Adudu. So Adudu created Boboibot as a means to fight against Boboiboy. So he's a robot. So it's a robot that basically has the same powers as Boboiboy. Adudu put some wind elemental powers into the robot. So the robot managed to become another version of Boboiboy Cyclone. It became Boboiboy Cyclone. This is what it looked like. Instead of having legs and a hoverboard like Boboiboy Cyclone, this robot just hovers in the air. It floats in the air with a wind vortex coming out from beneath it. So these are its abilities. The abilities are the same as Boboiboy Wind and Cyclone, only that he names the abilities 2.0. He adds the word 2.0 at the end. Next we'll be talking about the second clone, which is Boboiboy Cetak Rompak. So this is a pirated version of Boboiboy, or what we call Cetak Rompak. It was created by two power spheres, which are CopyBot and PasteBot, also known as ChetakBot and PasteBot. So they scanned the original Boboiboy, creating this inferior and weak product. So that's the end of our video. Here we are putting all the different forms of Boboiboy and his clones side by side, all of them which use the wind element. So make sure you share the video, and you can watch some of our other videos by clicking on the thumbnails that you see here. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.